The Councilor's Creed. I am a Philippine councilor, mandated by law to enact measures and ordinances that redound to the great work of my constituents in their pursuit for happiness, peace, and prosperity. I believe in public service above self as the guiding principle of my official act, and I tread the pathways of local legislations. May the Almighty guide my mind and heart, that I shall be true to my constituents and to the Filipino people.
Sa lupain ng pangako ay may isang paraiso. Ang matatag at matatayog niyang mundo ay sagana sa saging at ginto. Mga bukid niya at mga parang at mga luntiang balayan. Saan lakuman kung iyong pagmamasdan ito'y larawan ng kasaganahan. Tagum mabuhay ka, nasa iyo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Ang lahat niyang nasasakupan, nagmamahal sa kapayapaan, nagkakaisa lahat at nagtutulungan patungo sa miting kaunlaran. Di magtatagal maaabot din lahat ng pinapangarap natin. Kapit kamay lahat ay ating harapin, ang tuktok ay kaya nating abutin. Tagum mabuhay ka, nasa iyo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Tagum mabuhay ka, nasa iyo ang bukas na walang kasing ganda. Tagum mabuhay ka, paraisong puno ng pag-asa. Paraisong puno ng pag-asa.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kumusta man ang weekend? Before we proceed any further, we would like to recognize and acknowledge the presence of our First Lady, Madam Alma Lim Uy. She's in the gallery. Mayang hapon. Together with the members of the Tourism Council. So, naa sila karon. Okay, so let us now proceed to the next order of business, which is the reading and consideration of the minutes and journal of proceedings of the 27th regular session held on January 26, 2026. Councilor Attorney Wakan is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of the minutes of the 27th regular session dated January 26, 2026, I move to defer with to dispense with the reading in toto of the full text of the minutes dated January 26, 2026.
Moved by our Chairperson, Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, seconded by Councilors Dr. Eric Perez, Councilor Catayas, Revita, Rubinos, Elliot, and Aala. There being no objection, the reading of the full text of the minutes of the 27th regular session is hereby dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the minutes of the 27th regular session dated January 26, 2026, consisting a total of 64 pages.
Moved by Attorney Wakan, seconded by Councilors Catayas and Aala. Is there any discussion, any amendment to the minutes? Any objection? There being none, therefore, the minutes of the 27th regular session held on January 26, 2026, consisting of 64 pages is hereby adopted. Proceed.
For the same reason, Madam Presiding Officer, I move to dispense with the reading of the Journal of Proceedings of the 27th regular session dated January 26, 2026, consisting of 45 pages.
Moved by Attorney Wacan, seconded by Councilors Rillion, Uy Salazar, Kaasi, and Catayas, and there being no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the approval of the Journal of Proceedings of the 27th regular session dated January 26, 2026, consisting a total of 45 pages.
Moved by Councilor Wacan, duly seconded by Councilor Iliot, Catayas, and Uy Salazar. Is there any discussion, any amendment, any objection? There being none, therefore the Journal of Proceedings consisting of 45 pages is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to the next order of business, the privileged hour. Any member? Yes, Councilor Aala is recognized.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My warm greetings to everyone. After making as the overall champion in just the concluded 2026 edition of DepEd Region 11 Regional Schools Press Conference held in Mati City, Division of Tagum City Delegation will spearhead Davao Region in the National Schools Press Conference to be held in Ormoc City on April 2026. This is a resounding achievement for the cream of the crop of our elementary and high school students. This really shows that in Davao Region, Tagum City, to their parents and guardians, to the PTA officials, to their teachers, their coaches, especially to our school's division superintendent, Ma'am Aluna Uy, for a job well done. Sorry. In view of the foregoing, this representation would like to suggest that all of the concerned students and parents and coaches will be invited to present for the next Monday convocation in the City Hall Atrium. At the outset, this representation would like also to congratulate the Tagum Athletic Association for their exemplary performance during the Tagum City Meet sports activities. Thank you and good afternoon. We are Tagum.
Okay, thank you for that, Councilor Aala, and congratulations to Tagum City. Okay, some more members. Councilor Revita is recognized.
Honorable Presiding Officer, distinguished colleagues of the 10th City Council, ladies and gentlemen, maayong hapon kanatong tanan. I rise today on a matter of personal and collective privilege. Last Wednesday, our hearts were shattered by the tragic loss of one of our own, Lester Payot Guzman, who was more than a leader in the city. He was our former colleague, my friend, and a peerless voice within the LGBT community. He stood firmly by his convictions, even when doing so placed his life at risk. Lester chose courage over fear, service over silence, and integrity over personal safety. That is how we will remember him. And as his friend, I grieve deeply for his passing. Lester served with courage, honesty, and unwavering commitment, even when it was difficult and dangerous to do so. He stood for what he believed was right, and his service to the community will never be forgotten. I strongly condemn the killing of Lester Payot Guzman. This senseless act of violence is a grave crime and a direct assault on justice and democracy. Violence has no place in our society, and it must never be used to silence those who stand up for the people, for equality, and for truth. To Lester's family, I extend my deepest and most heartfelt condolences. No words can ease the pain of your loss, but please know that you are not alone. We mourn with you, we stand beside you, and we commit ourselves to honoring Lester's life by pursuing the justice he rightfully deserved. As we grieve, let us remain united, vigilant, and resolute rather. Let us reject fear and violence and instead uphold the rule of law, compassion, and human dignity. May Lester Payot Guzman rest in peace. May his family find strength and comfort, and may justice prevail. Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer, og maayong hapon.
Thank you, Councilor Revita. Summer members, there being none, so let us now proceed to the question hour. For the question hour, we have two sets of guests. One as proposed by Councilor Revita, and the second is from Attorney Maliton D. Lemos. So let's proceed with our first guest. Okay, any opening statement, Councilor Revita?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Hello. I move, Madam Chair, for the suspension of the internal rules in order to accommodate our invited guests and to give them the opportunity to present. I so move, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Aala, Ong, and Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor William. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, rules are now suspended. The Sergeant at Arms is directed to please escort our guests.
Appropriation. In the absence of funding, the city government is legally prohibited from implementing the activity. Proceeding without an appropriation would expose the city and its official to audit disallowances and administrative liabilities. Honorable members, an ordinance may provide authority, but an appropriation enables implementation. Budgets in keeping with fiscal discipline, compliance, but of a resource availability. Should this council wish to ensure the continuity of the Binibining Tagum beauty pageant, its clear conclusion in future budgetary operations will be essential. In closing, our office remains fully committed to upholding the ordinance of this august body while ensuring that all actions of the government remain lawful, prudent, and financially responsible. But on the other hand, the good side, the City Tourism Council, our private sector, our private partner, under the leadership of Ma'am Alma Uy, initiated a project in lieu of this Binibining Tagum beauty pageant. This project is what we call the Maanyag Runway. It's not just a presentation of beauty, but it's creating livelihood to our constituents, especially in the barangay level. And at the same time, addressing the problem of the waste clothing, especially in our locality, transforming it into a brand new creation. This address the BCG framework and also address the 17 SDG or Sustaining Development Goals. So I'd like to call in Ma'am Alma Uy to give us an overview of this project, how it was being conceptualized, and now slowly realizing this project. Ma'am?
Thank you, Miss Abelia. I-greet sa nato si Gigi. Birthday niya karon. Pwede makantahan siya. Muragang yung birthday na there is a session hall, no? Okay. So, Honorable Vice Mayor Eva Lorraine Istabilio, the presiding officer of the 10th City Congress of Tagum City, honorable members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, mayong hapon ka natong tanan. Mas maayo nga magsagol-sagol ang akong pag-istorya sa inyo bahin aning maanyag, no? Kay gusto na ko masabtan pod sa uban nga naminaw karon nga wala dire sa atong session. Okay? So, but before anything else, bago ko i-proceed about the Maanyag Runway, gusto kong ibalik sa inyo what's the rule of the Tourism Council? So the mandated rule of the Tourism Council within the local government is to act as a primary advisory, planning, coordinating body for local tourism development, ensuring sustainability, industry-driven growth. Facilitate the implementation of tourism master plans. Coordinate with stakeholders for policy enforcement, and monitor tourism activities to boost economic and cultural development. So kani nga mga mandated roles or functions comprises of advisory policy formulation. So serving as an advisory body for the executive and the legislative on local tourism matters, such as drafting the tourism-related ordinances. Kaya from to time, we have to meet with Councilor Uloy, what are our plans para po mahatod niya dire sa inyo sa hawanan sa konseho. Then another rule, that's planning and implementation. So developing, updating, facilitating the implementation of the City Tourism Master Plan and other strategic plans. Number 3, it's coordination and regulation. Coordinating with the Department of Tourism, national agencies, and private stakeholders to enforce standards, monitor activities, maintain safe and high-quality tourism environment. Then, we have also the stakeholders engaged. being a regional arts center for Mindanao. Nakadawat kita og 550 pieces of bangko para sa atong theater. It came all the way from the Cultural Center of the Philippines nga karon ginatuko our and the shipment is being assisted by the city. Okay. Girelay ko lang ni sa inyo ha, ang among mga nahimong trabaho, no? So the Tourism Council also to sa World Orchestra. These two part of promotion and to level up our activities. We're hosting the International Choir Competition, so dapat naman mas maganda ang atong mahatag ngadto sa atong mga participants. And we have this medal, our very own medal para sa mga recipient with the Kagan tribes. Ito ang madawat sa mga winners. Only the champion will receive the trophy. Okay? So we have also customized para sa atong mga recipient sa pasidungog, NGOs, private companies who help so much for the development of Tagum, regardless kung ano nga sektor. So we will be giving this out during the Pasidungog on March 6, during the Araw ng Tagum. Then for the Maanyag, and then let's go. And by the way, I would like to thank Councilor Catayas and Shara Isabel for joining with us every night dito sa Barangay Musikahan. Walang absent silang duha. And I hope some of you can join and feel the need of every barangay. Makita ninyo dito, they long for entertainment. Ingon pa nila pagkahuman, sana ma'am, kanunay naami kalingawan. Lalo na ngadto sa barangay nga lagyo nga walay lingaw, except maghimo og bata. Okay? But this time, we're giving them busy practice sa ilang mga performance. So I hope you can join us. And we're sending you already the invitation na anatanan dito ang mga schedule. And last night, I saw Barangay San Isidro. Dito namo nakita ng ilang lugar nga diin sila nag-perform. It's not enough with too many audience. No? Daghan kayong audience nga maglisod. So I would like to bring this up sa inyo nga please look into this. Kay sila nag-perform walay states. So siguro makahangyo mo kay Mayor or kay Kong Uyo to renovate or come up with a new gym para sa ilaha. So I was telling them, and naa si Councilor Catayas and Ciara to sponsor this need sa atong mga constituents. So makita ninyo o maobserbahan ninyo dito, no? So yun, and now gusto na akong proceed sa inyo about the Maanyag. And by the way, I would like to thank Councilor Revita for taking this out. Gusto po namong ma-share sa inyo unsa nga mong gihimo. Paano mukatabang, no? And we really appreciate your comments, your observations, recommendations, ang paghatag o kanang kaliwanagan about this program. But we forgot to tell you about this, pero ongoing human nami naghatag og information that was last year. I think that's sometime September during the EBC meeting. Gi-present na namo ning project and tanan gi-lay down namo sa barangay and we agreed, okay? And according and asked also to the mayor. Ingon ko na ay nagreklamo why walay binibini. Ang tubag sa ako ni mayor, nakabalo naman na sila. Oo. And me too, wala man ko'y labot, ana. So we're just here to help you, okay? So pagkabalo na ako, it's true, Gigi, ma'am, wala na budget. Wala budget ang binibini. So in my mind, naisip na ko, paano ang ubang sektor? Like the makeup artist, like the mga dressmaker, kanang comprises diha sa binibining. So I'm thinking of something na quite similar to the binibining Tagum. Kaya we come up this Maanyag. Walang budget coming from the city. We did that para ang atong constituents dili mabigla. But this time, this is more productive. We make sure kay si Mayor dili gusto mag-usik-usik og kwarta kaya nakita niya nga i-out ang binibini. And later, as I've told you, the focal will tell you what were the reason behind it. So I hope you will agree with us, no? sigurado kung nag-agree yun mo kay mayor, kay wala man yung giapurbahan po ang binibini. Okay? Anyway, so let's proceed now to the maanyag. Unsa ni siyang maanyag? Ayan, ang maanyag, we're looking for a brand for Tagum. Industry-driven ito. So during our survey, nakita namo dire nga dili halos tanan nga barangay makakomply with the requirements kasi they have to create a team, a crew, fashion crew team, which comprises of the fashion designer, dressmaker, embroidered, we have the graphic, then we have also students, textbook students, and ano pa nga yun, G? Multi-media students. So daghan siya nga involved. So ayan, no? Ang composition sa crew. One designer, dressmaker, so comprises ana. Then we have also makeup and hairstylist, and one project manager. Okay? So this project, I met with Philippine Women's College, and that was November. I laid down my ideas to them, and sila tanan ang nagtabang for the project design. And we partnered with them, and yesterday, we started already the conceptualization of their design. No? So, lay down na sa Philippine Women's and their full force. They bring their own fashion designer to mentor our own fashion designer. So, kahapon, nahitabo ni, and yan, ang composition nga nag-attend kahapon, and we have only 13 barangays joining this one. Why? Na ay barangay nga walay mananahe. Pandapan, isa. So nakita namo dire, there's crisis on the skills. So tanan nga mga constituents nga magpatahe, they have to go to the sentro sa Tagum para magpatahe. So now, magkaroon na ta og intervention on what to do. And some barangay walay fashion designer. So naay daghang mga kakulangan. So based on the survey. And now there's a need for skills training. Not dili lang kay gusto kang manahi, but for those nga maka-attend og skills trainings on dressmaking, embroidery, and others, pwede nila ning gamiton if they're interested to work abroad. Apply for factory work, mga factory on clothing. So yun ang nakita namo. So yun, ito na ang nag-participate nga barangay, and we're done already. Dili namin magpahabol kay tapos na ang first session. Maglisod sila og apas. Okay? Then next, G. Okay, next. Ayan na. The rule of the project manager, overall planning, coordination, execution, and runway. So, i-shorten ko na lang, no? So, yun ang gipuli na, dili gipuli. We make do nga murag gi-improve dato ang atong tawag aning bini-bini. But the models, we need 5 models sa ilang creation. Dili gyud necessary nga mga gwapa o mga sexy. All faces, all sizes, ages, ang composition sa models. Adunay bata, babae ba o lalaki? Then we have the category for the kids. We have 8 to 12-year-old. Then the teen category, we have 13 to 19. Then we have young adult, 20 to 30. Then adults, we have 31 to 59. And we have also a model for a senior citizen. So makita nimo dere, ang creation nila caters all ages, all shapes and sizes. Kung kinsa to unsay mo model nga tambok, o dakog tiyan, or katong putot, or any sizes, no? I-cater nila. So not necessarily like datong mga binibini nga kailangan sexy, but this time, ang focus nato is for industry. Tabangan, matag barangay, makapanginabuhi, magkaroon og livelihood program through this program. So what are the materials to be used para maging competitive siya? We will be using our own ukay-ukay and transform that to new creations. And it should be wearable, relatable. So what do I mean? Masuot niya, dili pareha ng uban nga pang social lang, pero dili ka komportable, but this one is wearable or art ready to wear. And the price should be competitive, it should be cheap para mo cater sa C, D nga category. Daghan kaayo tag ukay-ukay, and not only ukay-ukay, other used clothing. Imong mga biya nga sinina, transform that. That's upcycling. And by the way, there's a need now of more artists. Nanginahanglan sila lalo na on the part of the indigenous people. We're looking for waving. Yun ang need, not only in the national market, but the international market. And I would like to give you an example. The sister of Councilor Oloy, gave me this Christmas gift. This is made out by the sister of Councilor Oloy. She's looking for basketry. Iyahaning creation. Now the brand. Ang brand niya ni Ani is Wenya. Wenya. So unsa ning Wenya? According dere sa iyang tag, Wenya from the word Dabawenya is a brainchild of a mompreneur from Davao. All bags are handmade by local community of weavers using only local source materials such as bangkuan, raffia, and abaca, and others. So I brought this one para makita ninyo, and her sister will be one of our judges. Para makita niya ang creations, o baka makakita siya og mga workers nga diin iyang makatagan og pangabuhian. And thank you so much, Councilor Aloy, for this gift. You give me an idea. Okay? So yun ang atong maanyag runway. And another, ano pa ba yan? Yeah, let's go to the budget. Nga maugyod ning amo gyong gastusan. Walay gihatag ang gobyerno. Kaya pasalamat ko nga gitawag mi ninyo kay gusto ming magpatabang sa inyo. O ano, Councilor Evita, pwede ba kang mag-sponsor for this? No. Okay? Mamaya, mag-ikot ang among staff for your commitment. Okay, so these are the budget. So, how much? For the Bini-Bini, we're spending in 2024, ang gigasto is 1.5 million. Okay? Muna gigasto. And, yeah. For, that's maanyag, Bini-Bini yan eh. That's the Bini-Bini. That's 1.5 ang funding, anak. Now, for the Baanyag, ang gastuson lang sa Maanyag is something 600 something, no? Ay, wala, kulang yan. Ano, nagkamali. Okay. So, yon ang gastos. So, makita niyo ang difference. It's 1.5. Well, di maanyag. Walay katunga lang ang gagastos namo. In fact, naghatag mig subsidy matag barangay para ipamalit nilag materials. That's 10,000 pesos per barangay. It came from the council. Para lang yun nga madayon ni. Okay? Next slide. Napa? Next slide. Okay. Now, yan ang pakikita, nagpahimo na mig itikita para ilagay sa ilang suot. Please show them the itikita. Okay, basta, yan. It's the Maanyag Clothing Collection Tagum. So once you saw Maanyag, makaingon ka, amo ni. Kinahanglan mo dream big ta nga ilaban nato ni to Hermes. Ambisyosa. So please support this one. This is not only during the araw. It's a continuing project. It should be sustainable. Sa among pagkakinabi with PWC, we will evaluate after this Maanyag, sino nga barangay who is good on designing, who is good on embroidery, who is good and other things, no? Not only dressmaking, but also artists, painting, para naman tong ukay-ukay nga mga sapatos, they can have this painting on that, no? And even the clothes. So tanang artists, pwede. And even accessories. That includes the accessories. And that's part of the criteria. Okay? So yun. So ang next, pag ma-adjust, maano na namo, then we could come up with an assembly. Okay, Barangay La Filipina, kaniragyud ang imong buhaton. Kay ikaw barangay, ano mo ra pud ning imo? Then one barangay will consolidate. That's an assembly. Or either one barangay iya na tanan. And we'll go into a marketplace. Unsa ning marketplace? Mao na ni ang chance nga ang kilang mga creation ma-display. Once a month, we will be having a bazaar of all the creations done by the barangay. That would motivate our people from the community to work farther and think farther para ma-dako ang ilang kita. Now we've been talking already with the Department of the DOST. Tomorrow, the regional director will be coming over and he's supporting this program. Isuroy na mo siya katong mga barangay nga aduna na mga makina. And some barangay, amo na pong ingnan nga wala ni sila yung mga makina. And hopefully, by next year, mapfundingan niya nga tanan na tong barangay na anay makina. Kaya some of the barangay are not joining tungod sa kakulangan sa facilities. And tomorrow, together with DTI and the OST and TISDA, we've been talking with them. And in fact, Dato Perez, we had already a meeting with TISDA regarding this program. So we're looking for a mentor. Kay kailangan ma-credit sa TISDA, importante adunay modules. But the masters of the IP, they're not that educated. Walang module. But that's the requirement of TISDA. So we're looking for a younger one na tudluan sa master to come up with a module. So that's one requirement of TISDA. And my budget na po yan, coming from the national office because it's a Republic Act, the creation of the creatives. No? Okay? Yan. And by the way, ito naman, it's the frame. Nga gipahimo na mo, customize for Tagum with the Kagan prints. Ayan, the other one. Okay? So yun, ang coming na mo nga gipahimo. All of these were ideas coming from my team. So, para lang yun nga mo elevate ang atong syudad sa Tagum in terms of the industry. Okay. So I hope nalanam na-explain nako sa inyo why we have this maanyag. And we're hoping nga mo succeed ni with your help. Suporta rin ninyo, lalo na sa mga needs sa mga barangay. And let's join hands for this program. Okay? And this time, I would give this floor to my colleague Alvin Kamanag-Anakan para sa iyang observations bahin sa atong na-observe niya during the conduct of the Binibining Tagum. So I think that's all for my presentation, and I hope you're enlightened, no? Katupong nakadungog, let's support this one, and kung aduna may trabaho mahuman nga mahimo nila, palihog palitapod ang ilang creations. And by the way, during the runway, bago si Alvin, nalimutan ko, dire pagahimuon ang runway. Magpaso ang magkandarayang mga barangay with their models and their creations. So its creation mayroong theme. Sa argumentation ko, it's wearable and relatable. Kung makaisip ang ilang fashion designer for a sports, then sports ang ilang ipasok with all ages. Or baka naman, Sunday dress. Mga ingon-ana siya. No? So we require them nga ingon ko, pag mangita mo model, please model nga dili sexy. Kanang model nga halos na atanan nga makapalit. No? So this time, I'm hoping nga ang Tagumenyo maging fashionable kahit mura lang. No? So let's give them a decent dress. Dili lang kay puwerte branded, decent ito. Let's design something that's decent for our people in Tagum. So Alvin, take it away.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Alma Uy. Good afternoon, everyone, and to the honorable members of this August body, maayong hapon. Before I'll start, I would like to introduce myself. I am Alben Kamaganakan. I am a member and a volunteer of the Tagum City Tourism Council, and I have handled the Binibining Tagum for the past 3 years as a member of the executive committee. So just like the same with Councilor Revita, I also is an advocate and an enthusiast of beauty pageants. Just allow me to share to you my personal observation, experience, and the challenges that the Binibining Tagum Executive Committee has encountered for the past 3 years. Recently, a while ago, the budget was discussed. So in my observation, there is a budget constraint in holding the Binibini. Since 2013, the budget is only 1 million pesos. And for the past 2 years, Mayor Ray Uy took the initiative of giving additional 20,000 pesos each, amounting to 460, a total of 460,000, to give as a subsidy or allowance to our candidates. Ngano kay nakita siguro ni Mayor Uy, since ang Binibini is handled by the SK Federation, ang budget nga i-allocate mostly is around 50,000, will all go to the handlers. So nakita ni Mayor na maluoy gid siya na kung wala kay premyo, wala kay daog or award, wala gyud kay ma-take home. So that is the initiative taken by Mayor Uy just for the past 2 years. Another challenge is, of course, the high cost of staging a pageant. As we all know, if we compare Binibining Tagum with other LGUs, we can be at par with the Kabonga and with the production. But that production entails a lot of cost. And another concern is the problem on the logistics, on the financial aspect, the rentals of the sounds, the lights and sounds, and of course on our part as the executive committee, the challenge to secure sponsors. But pasabot, 1 million is enough to stage a big beauty pageant. So kami sa tourism, maningkamot mi nga maka-raise og funds to augment to whatever expenses. If I can remember it right, for the past siguro 3 years, we were able to raise at least every year mga 300 to 400,000 sponsors, worth of sponsorship, para lang ma-stage o mapadayon nato ang Binibini. Another observation is that Binibining Tagum is not an open competition. But pasabot, dili pwede mudayo ang ubang kandidata to join in our pageant. This is a barangay-based beauty pageant. Unsay pasabot, the candidates are required to submit a resident certificate from the barangay issued by the barangay captain, and the candidate will present a voter's ID. Even the height requirement, previously the height requirement was 5'3", but in 2020, gibabaan siya to no height requirement. Unsay but pasabot ani, in the future, we can encounter problems of the shortage or the scarcity of candidates. And luoy pod ang ubang mga gagmayng barangay na gamay lang ang population na wala sila'y mapadala nga kandidata kay mas nindot man gyud na 23 barangays will be represented in the Binibining Tagum. Another observation is that our candidates are students. Upon rehearsals, schedule nila sa rehearsals, kana pa lang ang uban maka-absent na. So since we have an age limit, so mostly estudyante ang moapil, some are mapugos mag-absent because of the rigid training and the schedule nga dili magud siya ingon na pila lang kaadlaw nimo i-rehearse. It's because namanggoy mga pre-pageant competitions prior to the coronation night. So ang uban maka-absent sa ilahang pag-eskwela. Another observation is that we are also after of the safety of our candidates, especially during rehearsals na magabin-an na. And we are also after for their mental and physical aspect, protecting them from harassment and bullying. Although guwapo ang tumong, women empowerment, ang beauty pageant, culturally we love beauty pageants. Just that daghan po kag pwede nimo i-consider nga danger apan sa pagpadayon, since ang atong mga ubang barangay cannot provide transportation during rehearsal na gabi na in town makauli. Another observation, I think this will be the last. During the past Binibini, since it started in 2013, they included an advocacy project. Magpili sila advocacy project, kinsay mo daog nga kandidata per barangay. But 2 years ago, upon our pagdumala, we do not see the need of continuing with the advocacy. Number one, because of the limited resources, they are only given 50,000. And how can you continue with that 50,000 for the whole year rin sa nakadaog nga Binibini? So we see the project in some problem in the project implementation of their advocacy. And lastly, we understand the importance of beauty pageant sama sa kung ingon in our society, in our community, especially sa pagpabibo sa mga selebrasyon. I just want to note that in the Tourism Council, we compare with other LGUs. Ang ubang LGU, Binibini ramang gud ang ilang ma-highlight. In our case, let's remember, we have festivals every month na makapabibo para sa atoang community. So, I think that would be all. There's advantages and disadvantages. I just presented to you my personal observation and experience as a member of the executive committee nga nagdumala sa Binibining Tagum for the past 3 years. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Ug maayong hapon.
So, daghang kayong salamat sa ato ang mga guests. Yes, back to you, Councilor Revita.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. From the resource person, I may ask to Mr. Alvin Kamag-anakan, was any written memorandum or advisory or internal communication issued explaining the inclusion of Binibining Tagum from the year's celebration? If naa, can you provide us the copy of the certain document?
Since I just reiterated that I am not connected with the government, I am a volunteer, so I think it is rightful for the Tourism Office to answer that question.
Thank you, sir. For the office, I think Ma'am Alma mentioned a while ago during her speech that there was already a gathering, no, a meeting with the punong barangay, with the kagawad on tourism from the different barangays, and of course with the SQ chairpersons, in relation to informing them that there is non-implementation of this Mutya ng Tagum for this year because of there's no budget, and Ma'am Alma has also informed them that in lieu of this, this Maanyag project will be realized.
Thank you, ma'am. If another question, ma'am. If there were a Binibining Dabnor pageant, would Tagum City still join the said pageant? If so, how will we identify or select the participant who will represent Tagum City?
Anyone can join the pageant, okay? Wala tang ingon nga mohatag og requirements. Everyone, pwede nga silang musali sa Miss Philippines if they want to. If they want to go to Davao, then go. So wala tayong, anyone who wanted to join, they're free to join. Okay?
Thank you so much, Ma'am Alma. So if there is a possibility, ma'am, that in the next araw ng Tagum, mabalik pa ba gihapon ang Binibining Tagum or mawala na gyud ni siya as one of our event of Araw ng Tagum?
Dili ko na matubag. Nana sa inyo. Okay? Depende ni Mayor. Igo lang mi nagtabang sa inyo para aduna po'y medyo nga binibini. We're just here to help you. Nasa inyo yan. I-deliberate ninyo. Ipadayon ba? It's up to you. You make your own, kamo na ang magdesisyon, not us. Don't let us answer that. Nasa inyo lang yan. Sabi ko sa inyo kaniha, we're just volunteers. We just help you sa inyong mga advokasya. Okay? Thank you. Okay.
Just to add to the second question, Honorable Revita, regarding the invitation for Binibining Tagum to join and whoever will represent, we are not privy to answer that because, as what I've said a while ago, each beauty pageant has its own criteria and qualification. In our case, as what I've said, we are barangay-based, so you have to be a resident of Tagum City to represent, to join the Binibini. But as to the Binibining Davnor, I am not privy to their rules. And at the same time, if you can remember, Binibining Davnor once also nawala po siya, and then gibalik lang. So that would be all.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. So I think there's no other. Can I give the floor to my colleagues?
So that to Eric Perez, then to be followed by Councilor Aala.
Hello, thank you, Madam Chair. Hearing from one of our heads sa atong tourism na the factor na wala ang Binibining Tagum karon nga year is truth, walay budget, Ma'am G. So, siguro, members sa council, especially ato ang Committee on Tourism, during budget hearing, ato ang manang pong function to see kung naabag yun ang nabudgetan magyud ang maong mga activities. So siguro next time nga during budget hearing mo appeal ta tanaw na to, especially kanya-kanyang komite kung labi na yung na ordinance na to see to it nga nabudgetan sa to executive. Kung wala mabudgete, pwede man ilabi sa finance or kang mayor nga kini nga activity mayor, maayo po ni siya, basit pwede makonsider. So that's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you for that, Councilor Perez. Yes, Councilor Aala is recognized.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Naman dyan, hindi na mga magtanong. Ma'am, kabalo mo good ni ma'am na with regarding na usually ang mga barangay na sila budget for the event, para sa event, no? At does this mean nga ang katong ilang mga budget karon pwede nila ito mapadagan sa kuwan, maan niya? Yes, ma'am? Magamit nila?
Depende siguro, sir, kung ang ilahang expense, no, the type of expense that they have in that particular line of budget, it can be. So it can be in other professional services or culture. Yeah. For the program, that's for the program, but on the line of expense, okay? Naaman tayo mga program, like for example, kasi what I have observed now sa budget office, they are very strict in terms of allocation. No, that's why even on the Musikahan Festival, it took 2 weeks, no, before they approved the activity design of the Musikahan Festival. So each item, each line budget item is being scrutinized. So I don't know with the barangay siguro, and I don't know if the barangay they have already allocated or their budget they have allocated budget and has been approved by the budget and by the budget office and by our local chief executive. That would really depend on them, no, on the line, on the expense, no, budget expense. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Councilor.
Si Councilor Rubinos. What can you say, sir?
Okay, Councilor Rubinos is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As to the addition of Ma'am G, no? As to budget sa barangay, tama to, nagkalain-lain man ang budget na himo gyud sa barangay. But some barangays na siya naka-allocate nakabutang diya is para sa socio-cultural activities. And kaning musikahan na sa Tagum, every time na I call na itabuan ni nga mga activities, so automatic ang barangay pwede siya mogamit sa mga pundo basta nalang yun itong attachment sa call o katong series of activities nga unsa ang participation sa barangay. But some yun sa mga barangay, especially katong mga dagko, pwede sila mogamit sila mga representation expense nga basta nalang yun siya attachment nga call sa mga activities. Pero katong mga gagmay, Councilor Ala, naging siya certain nga gibutang nila nga kana lang yun nga amount ang ilahang gamito na nga activity. Pero katong sa mga dagko na nga barangay, murag sky's the limit na sila. Okay, dako man sila budget. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Councilor Rubinos. Councilor Ong is recognized.
Yes, thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Hello. Hello. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of the Tourism Council and the City Tourism Office, which I am a committee chairman of. And with a few months that we've been working together, I've really seen the contribution they provide, not just to the LGU, but to the entirety of Tagum City. With regards to the statement of Datu Eric Perez, it was the order of our hello. Mura man tayo mag-concert ani. Because na pugod rin na pod. So it was upon the orders of the local chief executive to omit the binibining Tagum for the meantime to look into other options to create a more festive Tagum festival. So it was beyond the capacity of people, if of the officers involved with regards to mga additional budget, because in the first place, it was his directive and it was supported and approved by this council. So, katulang, the committee did their best, the officers did their part, and kani ang nagawas ang maanyang, which when I was listening and I was viewing, it's going to be a very sustainable program and contributing not just to the crafts and skills of our people, but also to the economic inputs for our fellow Tagumeños. So I'm very supportive of this. Unta mubuhat gyud sila og mga sanina nga masigo sa kuha kay order gyud ko, no? Diba? Pwede ko nila i-model because bitaw tinuod bitaw, because if not everyone knows, all the barongs I wear are made in Tagum by a Tagumeño. So I really want to support local talents, and if maanyag can do that, mupalit yung ko sa ilaha ug sanina. So that's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, salamat, Councilor Ong. Napa ba gusto mangutana? Councilor Catayas.
So, thank you, Presiding Officer. So, thank you, Ma'am, sa Tourism Council headed by Ma'am Alma. Ma'am Alma, so, na-appreciate ko na ko ang inyong mga event during, especially musikan, kinaga-add to ko, no? So, this is very expensive niya. Even, naningkamot yun ang mga barangay nga makapresent ko sila, no? Nakita na ito nakadalaing mga talento dito, no? So, ang ako alang, about the binibining Tagum, kami manggod ang nasa frontliner, mapangutanon yun sa mga kabatanunan, especially ka ng mga LGBT, no? Dili lang LGBT, tanan yun kay kanimanggod ang binibining Tagum is the most, supposed to be is the highlight even ba nga, manon ang Tagum. So far, nabalik na siya paglingkod ni Mayor Eritio 3 years. Sumuto ang daghang kayo nagpasalamat ka nabalik kay praghugyaw yun nga event ba. So supposed to be siya, budget ang kulang. So I hope nga unta, tama tugin ko ni Ma'am Alma nga, narasaan mo akong mapadayon na mo. I hope nga mapadayon. Kaya this is not kanang ni-against ko ha, pero it's okay nga wala magkaroon ka, wala naman yun, no? So, it is only relying ba sa mga tao nga sa mo ay magpangutana. So I hope nga nakabalo may kung sa ganang itubag. Yeah. Katupang about bitaw sa discrimination sa mga babae, mohotdan bitaw jud og babae ang mga rural area. So kinana man gud og sa gunso na gud ang atong padyan, pwede man siya dili by barangay, open to all ladies in Tagum City. Para magkuha man gyud kanang ambassadors nga i-represent nato sa ato sa Tagum City. Dili gyud pug sanay nga kada tuig magkuha yung isa sa barangay kinadyo rural area nga mohotdan yun silang babae o dalaga. No, sa una ni agi po sa last administration, open siya to all 18 years old to 24, to all ladies of Tagum City. No, qualified sila nga maka-avail sa qualification. So after ato, magkuha sila og top 10. Siya mo na ito present. Isa po siya nga factor nga mga hiding jud mga activities sa tuwa sa araw ng Tagum. So katulang ma'am, daghang salamat.
Okay, yes ma'am.
Sa imong idea kaniha, yadi gyud malikayan, Filipinos love pageant. Nayuban magbinuntagay og tinanaw mga international, any kind of pageant. Murag na gyud na sa atong tradisyon, no? But I would like to suggest, we can still pursue this one, but this is not under the local government, by the private sector or other non-government organization. That's as Rotary, like Kiwanis, na magdumala. And then come up with the guidelines. Nga kailangan mo niyang mga qualification para maging high standard ang inyong mga ladies participating para makaabot sila ngadto sa Miss Philippines, Miss International. Did you remember? Your binibini, nakaabot ba sila sa Philippines? Wala. Wala yung nakaabot. Ever since. So something is wrong. So I think we need some changes. Let's open to changes. So sama nang yan, maubusan tagdalaga, tinuod man yan. naluoy ko sa mga bata gikan sa lagyong barangay. Magkaroon silang stigma. Idili lalim magpaso, ibuka. I'm a mother. I feel it. Kaya ingon ko, kawawa ang mga bata. That's violence against women. Okay? So go for something nga katong interesado nga magyud na iyang hilig. Ayaw pugsa ang barangay. Okay? Nga mangita. And then, sama sa mention kanina ni Alvin, nga wala na height qualification. Ano na ba yan? Ano ba ang comment naman sa mga tao? Sa ba nang ilang pageant to? Mga pututay naman. Okay? Diba? So, it doesn't sound, ano ba? Just to pursue with the program. Okay? Dili dapat. Sayang ang gastos. And kami, negosyante, every cent counts. Dili lalim manginabuhi. Kaya ako, if ever kami sa council, if ever they gave us, they sponsored, they donated, kailangan ma-satisfy ang donors. See to it na sila mo balik-balik. And I'm so glad. Meaning, we're coming to us. Muingon nga may sponsor me. We don't need tapping anymore because we want credibility. So yun. So yun ang akong nasuggest sa inyo ha. Give this to the non-government organization as their fundraising. I-fundraising nila yan. Okay? So, dili na ta makialam. Okay? Para dili siya ma-politicize. Walay manubag. So, pwede kamong mga salon owners headed by Councilor Revita. O kamo. Okay, bahala na mo diha. Okay? So, I challenge you for this. Okay. So, I think that's all for... Wala na ba? You have any question? Yes, sure. You ask the chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Last thing, Madam Presiding Officer. Ma'am, since this is the launching of the Manyag, and we have 13 barangays, and we have also 13 city councilors, how about making the 13 city councilors be the models of the...
Oh, okay. Sige, we'll suggest to them. All of you will be models. Okay? Okay lang ninyo. You'll be models para masukatan na mo sa atong mga designer. Okay? By the way, Mangkilam, Barangay Mangkilam, kahapon ang nag-attend isa kananay nga dressmaker. Isa kananay nga dressmaker, ipangutanan ako siya. How old are you? Pilay mong edad? 77. Wow. Igipadala siya ni Kapitan Reo. Kung wala na ba'y laing mananahi? Ma'am, wala ko kahibalo. Basta gipadala ko dire. Ingon niya, ma'am, wala, akong mga anak, wala nagsunod sa ako. Uban abroad, uban na narbaho sa bisan asa. Gusto kong mutabang. Gusto kong mutudlo sa mga batanon. Kay daghang kulang nga mananahi nga dili na ko makaya na. Imagine that. He's already 77-year-old. So there's crisis on the skills. So you have to look into this. Dako kay ning tabang sa community nga ma-solve ang problema sa mga panahi, no? So kaya nga kusog ang RTW coming from CN, coming from China because of this. And pag adto na mo sa China, sa isa ka school, every month, magkaroon sila runway. Tanan nga mga creation sa mga estudyante, mag-runway sila. Inviting factory owners, negosyante, malls, nga interested sa ilang creation. Right then and then, pagpaso nila, orderan na sila. Same sa atong himuon. There will be paso, runway, pero at the same time, adunay kanya-kanyang booth sila nga i-provide namo nga kadtong uban nilang creation will be displayed. all, accessories, everything, they will be selling para makapangabuhi sila. So that's the start. Then after that, we'll schedule for a monthly bazaar for our young designers. It's a sustainable. The next year, i-improve na to what particular na pod nga runway ilang himon. If we can do that twice a month, then dako kay nga tabang, invite malls, invite mga boutique owners para makita ang ilang work. At the same time, they will buy their creations. Okay? I hope you agree with me, with my ideas. So, any more? Yes? Oh.
To add lang po, if ever man magkaroon o pageant sunod ang Tagum, baka pwede na pag-question and answer portion, pwede Bisaya, na dili ikalain na magbisaya. Kay so many times we have seen pageants here sa Tagum, naningkamot jud og English. And then kantsawan lang sa audience, mukatawa ang audience. It's dili lalim mo atubang na taas kayog heels, mangurog ka, unsa kaya possible question, and then pagtubag, di magkadimaw kay maningkamot sila og in English. And ang ilaha, makita man nimo bright sila. But because their English skills are not enough, maglisod sila og explain. So, sayang ang intelligence sa bata just because lacking siya in that particular skill. So, maybe that's something that we can improve upon na kanang, pwede siguro like international, magdala man ganik interpreter ang uban. Baka pwede po sa tuan, irana gihapon. Kay we should be proud as well of our language. Munang, some would just resort to just talking, memorizing ilang script, nga naay question, i-pattern na lang nila na, usay makaingkag ha, makaana ka sa tubag. Kay tungod ang ilaha lang, maka-full sila, maka-straight sila og English. So, to end po, we're very proud of our women. Like I said, dili lalim na mo, atubang ka diha. The confidence, the mental health ni mo diha nga, pwede ka kutsaon, pwede ka matumba. I mean, so many things can happen, but still they have the courage to present themselves. So hopefully, I'm sure there will be pageants sa Tagum. Di man na siya mawala. But I hope, aside atong sa development sa ato ang mga pilay, the development as well as sa ato ang audience na kindness, not kanang critic ang ato ang ipauna kundili that admiration for our sa ato ang mga gaapil og mga pageant. Thank you po.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Having no further queries from the floor, Madam Presiding Officer, I would like to thank our invited guests, especially Madam Alma Uy, for giving your time this afternoon and accepting our invitation, and for presenting to this August body the activities of Araw ng Tagum. So I hope naliwanagan siguro ang tanano, especially sa ato ang mga listening public. And we also appreciate the clarification provided regarding the issue of Binibining Tagum, which help ensure transparency and proper understanding. Thank you for your time and valuable contribution sa ato ang mga bisita, kay Ma'am G, kay Alben, o especially kay Madam Alma. Daghan kaayong salamat.
Okay, daghan kaayong salamat. The chair declares a few minutes. Sorry.
Thank each one of you for inviting us. Maganda ning ingon ani nga mga pag-aistoryahan, but sana next time can you go to our office? We have Councilor Oloy, pwede niyong dalhon, and we can have a personal talk about matters nga di na pwede nga dalhon pa nato dire. Okay? So let's work hand in hand for the benefit of Tagum. So to all of you, salamat sa tanan sa pag-imbita namo, at least to shade light, and as I have said, nanginahanglan mi og financial nga tabang. We will give you the budget nga among kakulangan. Baka mamaya madagdagan ninyo, bahalag supplemental na lang, no? Tungod sa musikahan, grabe kadaghan. We are expecting more than 3,000 participants. Gid-drum down na mo ang rondalya. Rondalya, in fact, ang nag-signify is 42. Pero nagkaroon mig eliminations. So ang moabot, they were high caliber. One of that nga moabot is the Dalasal Alabang. They'll be coming. Nagdaog sila sa ano, so they'll come back again here. So nagakasikat na nga tuwa. And even ang our choir, sobra pod, we limit. So mayroon na tayong guidelines because ang musikahan, pag manalo ang mga tao, ang mga participants sa musikahan, this is their stepping stone. They belong to the CCP standard. Then they can move on to the international competition. First is the musikahan. They have to win the musikahan. So kaya daghan ang nagadayo dere. So yun, and of course, I would like to thank also some of you who kanang nagpahulam sa inyong mga sakyanan. Nagpahulam sa inyong sakyanan, nga kautsahay, pagmusikahan, kulang kaayo mig sakyanan. Tungod sa bulk sa mga bisita. Thank you so much. And number one, I would like to acknowledge si Honorable Tubin Robinos. Every time I call him up, ever ready ang iyang sakyanan. Bisag dili pa musikahan. Thank you so much. So, I hope you will understand the bulk of our work. And kaya na ako dere, dili ko gibayaan si Gigi to support the tourism. Kaya nakita na ako how they work. Wala silang tulog, wala silang Sabado, Domingo, wala silang holiday. 24 hours. Their office is really working hard for the sake of Tagum. Kaya I'm here to support them kasi naibalaan na mo ang ilang nature's support. So to all of you, we need your support. Bisan inyong sakyanan. And in fact, we met with other national agencies. Nag-meeting tungod sa kakulangan sa budget. NFA is donating us sacks of rice para sa mga participants. BIR, GSIS, PhilHealth, tanan nga agencies, even their sakyanan, ipahulampod nila just for this activity. So I'm so glad nga not only private sectors but other national agencies were helping us. This is not for the city, but for the entire Tagum. Ang atong gihimo. So kinahanglan magkaisa, magkatabangay ka. This is not most of the time, this is our banner festival. Kinahanglan tabangan nato ni para nga diin moasin suta. And they will be known not only for the national but international. So, I hope you will be supporting us and see you mamayang gabi sa Nueva Versa, ang atong next nga musikahan. People would like to see you, not during election time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
So daghan kayong salamat sa ato mga guests. With this, the chair declares for a few minutes recess. Shooms, we have another guest. So Councilor Lemos, what is your pleasure?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Still, on question hour,
Question hour.
we'll request the invited guests to occupy the hot seat. A while ago, our colleague, Honorable Leo Revita, already explained during her privileged speech about the recent killing of Lister Payot Guzman. So, of course, the public also would want to know the updates, the result of the investigation, if there is any already. From knowledge, the horse's mouth, Madam Chair, being the proper agency to disclose whatever investigation they had. No? So, may we call on our invited guest, Madam Chair, to brief us on what is really the motive, or what is now the update of their investigation.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, very well. Thank you for that, Councilor Lemos. We are requesting our invited guest, sir, to please give us an update on the investigation pertaining to the shooting incident which led to the death of Mr. Lister Payot Guzman. Before that, sir, please state your name and your position for records purposes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To our presiding officer, Honorable Vice Mayor Eva Lorraine Lingding SW, ma'am, and to all the honorable city councilors present, ma'am and sirs, kanatong tanan, mayong hapon. I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Frederick Deles, the Chief of Police of Tagum City Police Station. Please allow me to read the report of Tagum City Police Station with regards to the shooting incident. At around 9:50 in the morning of January 28, 2026, we received an information that there was a shooting incident transpired at Purok Nangka Breeze, Barangay Magugpo East, Tagum City. Acting on the said information, Mobile Number 7, led by PCMS Arnold Timonio and PMSG Raymond Asarcon, was dispatched to respond of the said incident. While I, together with the duty investigator, also proceeded to the area to conduct an ocular inspection and investigation relative thereto. Upon arrival at the aforementioned place, noticed that the victim was still inside his driven vehicle, and minutes later, the CDRMO ambulance arrived and immediately brought the victim to Davao Regional Medical Center and was later identified as Lister Kevin Payot Guzman, 32 years old, male, single, self-employed, and a resident of Purok 1, Barangay La Pilipina, Tagum City. Initial investigation disclosed while the victim parked his driven vehicle, one Nissan Navara bearing plate number LAM 2669, when two male factors on board on an unidentified single motorcycle approached the victim. Then the back rider fired several shots towards the victim, hitting the different parts of his body. Thereafter, the suspect immediately fled to unknown direction. Further, the victim was immediately brought by the responding CDRMO ambulance to Davao Regional Medical Center for his immediate medical treatment. However, victim passed away at around 10:43 a.m. on same date as declared by his attending physician, Dr. Jerry Joy Astronomo. After which, the cadaver of the victim was moved to Tagum Punicare Memorial Service for disposition. That I directed all deployed units to conduct dragnet operations and coordinated with the Police Provincial Office for dissemination with adjacent units. Intel operatives immediately dispatched to conduct hot pursuit and dragnet operation to track down the fleeing suspects for possible apprehensions. Further, responding team from the Davao Norte Provincial Forensic Unit, led by PSSG Renan Esmar, conducted crime scene processing, and they were able to recover 5 fired cartridge case and 1 fired bullet believed to be from 45 caliber pistol, which were taken at their custody for further ballistic examinations. While the vehicle remains at the station, subject for trajectory examination. Motive of the case is perceived to be personal grudge, but other angles will be investigated. And for our action taken, sir, during that time of incident, the nearest mobile patrol is the mobile 726 manned by PSSG Tomika and Patrolman Aparece. Their location is fronting NFA Madaum. Nasulod ni silang sektor. So, it is more or less 3.3 kilometers away from the crime scene. So, ang nearest beat patrollers is, o foot patrollers is Corporal Navasca and Patrolman Tornilla. Their location is at crossing Jollibee flyover, which is more or less 900 meters away from the incident area, no? So, kung imuhan ng baktason, kay foot patrollers man ni sila, so mga more or less 5 minutes na sila sa crime scene. Sila ang una niabot actually during Samoa. Tapos ang mobile nagsunod. Din ang uban pang mga personnel nag-investigates. So, upon verification, sa backtracking na to sa CCTV, na ang CCTV mo sa ilang balay is lahi ang oras dili. Ang oras dito alauna sa hapon, pero mga alas 9 oras 8 pa to siya. Na cited na to dito, nakita sa CCTV ang katong suspect. Same ang description sa motor ko, nakita silang CCTV. So, nag-backtrack me si Bilyagan, posible nga diri sa Suway Bagyo agi. Tuyok siya. No, kung ang kinaabot siya sa kwan mga 9 around 9:50 to nahitabo. So mga pila lang seconds lang man gikan sa pag-abot niya. Pero based on our investigation, naa siya katagbo dito. Dito isa pa na namo nga imbestigahan tungod kay according sa iyang mother is naa siya katagbo tungod mo invest siya og katong juice, mughimo og juice, something like that. Braga nasi katagbo dito kay i-demo sa iya ang maong kuan. So mo to nga maghulat siya dito. Pero seconds lang Gipag-park niya pila lang ka segundo, iabot tong shooter. Dayon ni sibat ni puli og drive tong isa. Which nakita po nato nga ang shooter is siya yun ang suito sa Tagum. Kay katong isa iya man yung gipulihan og drive. And then niliko sila dito sa kanang simbahan bitaw diya sa unahan. Simbahan ba na or kapilya. Dito siya niliko, tapos nibalik ra gyapon sila dito sa main road katong tumo niya tong kuan, burag ila na sigurong gusto ilito kung nabay nakasunod. And then naputol lang among backtracking sa CCTV pag abot dito sa unahan since nga wala na CCTV. Ang among duda is pwede siya ni kuan ang Rosbeck siya wala mo pwede siya niliko diri sa tipas or diretso pa dong sa kuan. So, ongoing gyapon natong backtracking sa CCTV, ang may bala natong asa padulong ang mga shooter, no? But, naghanag tabang sa to like mga intel communities sa PPO and then sa region, na ay mga personalities nga gihatag since nga wala patay nawong yun sa suspect. So, ang amo lang gitanaw sa karon ang build. Kinsa ang nag-elimination process sa may katong mga ipanghatag ng mga personalities kung asa dito ang mas naduol. So, nainay ng gawas nga person of interest pero under validation pa. Kay wala pa nato makuha yun ang exact nga naong sa mga perpetrators. But dito sa tanagkuan karon sa mga bill, porma, katason, no? Kay ang base po sa atong isa ka eyewitness is nagbunit og niya nagkalo. Kung nakita man na may nakakita ato, part lang po siyang face, di good full face. Pero until now, nagsipa to ng atong mga investigators and the intel operatives para makakuha tag exact nga naong gid atong mga perpetrators. Sa pagkaron, sir, ma'am, mao pa to ang ato ang mahatag nga update sa inyo since nga ang ato ang mga person of interest is dili pa gyud siya validated, dili pa nato pwede ihatag sa kadaghanan, no. And still waiting sa amoang gipangita nga witness nga katong nagingon nga halos nakasabay niya during sa shooting, di ba nakita niyo na yung motor. Isa to sa atong gipangita para basig halos nagsabay man to sila basig makahatag siya og description sa atong mga suspects. Sa akong gingon, ang ato ang motive nga nakita is personal grudge, but other angles like for example, daghan man gud siya og gipang kailangan ta sa iya nga pag namasuko siya, nagyo siya ipang storya ng mga pangalan, although atong last niya nga vlog is wala siya na mention. Pero isa na sa atong ginapangitan basig naapay lain aside sa unsa pa diha nga kwan niya. Atong giimbestigahan tanan sa business kung naa ba siya na bangi. Ug even sa pag kay kusog siya mositaan ng masuko siya ng drugs. Ug gani angkon siya pati ang yang igsoon iyang ipapriso. So naa po na yung mga reports sa mo sa stations nga niadto gyud siya atong magreklamo siya about anang sa drugs. So isa po na sa angle nga atong ikuan basig naay na suko sa iyaha nga iyang gi-mention na nga mga butanga. So that's my update, ma'am, sirs. Any questions or clarifications? Gikan sa inyo.
Thank you for your update, sir, for your information. Any question from the members? Councilor Lemos?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Earlier, you mentioned that there were 5 cartridges recovered. How many shots that the assailant fired towards the victim?
Ang exact nga kuan sir wala pa nako nakuha giwa pa report gikan sa Soko. Pila gyud ang nikuan kay actually nag-request mi sa family nga autopsy ang kuan pero nag-refuse na gyud sila, sir. Kay naman goy balang wala nakagawas sa iyang lawas, no. Naiba ni true and true pero napoy wala. So sa examination sa kuan nag-advise ang Soko nato nga kung pwede ipa-autopsy pero nag-waiver na ang family kay unsa pa man daw ang i-prove nga gipusil man gid daw iyang anak. So ang ato lang ang kuan dito is mag-kuan kung pila gyud ka bala ang nisulod sa iyang lawas o pila po nang nigawas. 5 ka buto ang nadunggan po sa mga na dito is nakita nito sa iyang sakyanan sa trajectory is nag-grouping tong 5 ka doon ra gyud kayo murag pababa ang direksyon kay ang iyang tama is wala man sa ulo, liog din sa lawas niya. So pawala hantod ni siya natumba dito sa sulod na po dyan sakyanan.
And the firearm used, sir, was caliber 45?
45 ang na-recover nato nga empty shell o naisa ka fired bullet minito say katong ni buto na nakuha dito sa iyang sakyanan. So moro to fired bullet nga nakuha. So ang uban nato is probably na siyang lawas ra sa sulod.
Okay. Sir, uploaded in the video is the gesture of one of the suspects. Katong driver nga gipulihan. He was picking something. Can you
yes, sir. Among nang gi-tan-aw maayo, sir. Among gi-enhance tong kuan is bottled water. Ang braga ng mineral water ng gamay. Nahulog pero gipunit pa gyud nila. I don't know unsay naa dito sa sulod. Papunta ka balog unsay sulod ato yang kuan. Pag gipunit man gyud nila, magigi tagag oras nga puniton. Katong bottled water.
Bottled water diya.
Yes, sir.
Per gipokus niyo sir, bottled water gyud.
Yes, bottled water siya, sir.
Daghan magug mga huyihong perti na yung paita daw tong mga tawhan na kay nakakita daw 5 pesos ito nga kuhin gipunit bagyo daw bisag sa kadali-dali.
Kuan, sir.
So kung pangutanon nato ang chief of police ani kay siya ginakahibalo sa bottled water day.
Bottled water, sir. Di-confirm po na sa naisa ka eyewitness dito sa unahan nga nakita niya nga nahulog nga kuan niya gipunit. So amo gi-enhance po bottled water gid siya. Nga murag tanaw na mga primero gani cellphone nga puti ang kuan kay man siya puti pero bottled water siya.
Thank you so much sir. Anyone who would
Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Sir, gusto na ko makuha sir kung appeal bagay, usually ka backtracking magyud mo. But nakita mo gud ako during sa imong report karon ang iyang backtracking is katong padulong na dito ang after the gun down Mr. Lester. But before the incident happened sir, nabailain nga mga even sa mga malls or sa kuan nga nagakuan ka sa backtracking sir because pareha mo gud sila og kuan sa gikan sa dalan ba pasulod gid sila mismo sa kuan bridge.
Yes, actually sir kwanta og kanang letter sa mall bilang to sa NCCC kay posible dito ni tuyok ang kuan. Pero sad to say dili mo hatag ang mga malls kay na daw sila protocol unless nga naay court order nga mo kuan sila nga ihatag ang mga kuan. So sa amo ang ingon sila di pa mi kailangan court order kay wa pa ka pailog kaso. Ang amo lang ang taan is may balan kung asa padulong. So isa na sa among gikuan sila wala sila naghatag ang NCCC. So mo nay kuan no kay kapila na mi ana basta mga malls sila like Robinson pod na pod mi nahitabo di ang shooting incident sa atdan nila di pod sila mohatag. Gusto nila na court order nga makuhaan sila nga pangayuan og copy sa CCTV. Pero ang katunguban nga mga establishment, dito na mo ibalaan nga dili tanang establishment na CCTV. No, naaman galing CCTV ang uban pero dito ra nagtutok sa ilahang cashier, mga na ba? So walay ka nang sa gawas bitaw. So napoy uban nga na sa gawas kuan. Okay to siya. At least bala na to nga niagi. So isa na sa challenge sa mong ginakuan karon kay maskin mga balay nga nagko ang uban naiban mo hatag pero nagyuban nga di po sila di na to mapugos kay lam po nagkatungod no so pero ang kuan lagi unta ato katong mga establishment nga na CCTV labi na tong mga dagko nga kuan is kung mohatag la unta sila which is beneficial sa ato ang pag-imbestiga. Anyway, di man sila kuan amo lang man dito tan-awon lang kung dito ba gyud niagi di man dito nahitabo silang area aron masunod lang gyud kung asa gyud siya padulong kana ang mga kuan sir.
Thank you. Sir, a while ago, I don't know kung na-misheard ba na ko. A while ago, mura magug na-mention ba nimo kung mali ba ko? Na-mention nimo nga before the incident happened, took place in that the same place, sir. Na ba nakita pa sa CCTV nga ang katong mga nagmotor na sila dito or minito sila nagsunod lang din sila?
Wala sir, ang ako pasabot ito sir, before ang incident na hitabo, dito silang balay naka-view mi sa CCTV pero ang muras mo nila dito dili tama ba? Earlier pa ato, nagisilip na siya dito, nakita na si CCTV nga niagi itong mga maugya mong description. So gikuan na siya, atangan na siya. Pero pag lakaw ni victim is dito sa may bilyagan, wala nagsunod tong mga motor dito which means dugay nga kuan wala nagsunod lahi ang ilang gagihan. Napagilain siguro nga nagmata sa iya mao to nga nasundan gyud siya dito gyapon sa ni dito sa may breeze nga area.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer.
Summer questions? None? Back to you, Councilor Lemos.
Thank you so much, sir. We don't want that this incident would happen again. See to it that in your capacity as Chief of Police of Tagum, you should find ways on how to prevent this kind of dreaded act. No? If possible, life is so precious. We cannot also blame you because pila lang mo kabuok as against pila pod ka constituents nato dinhi. But somehow maybe patrolling is one of the preventive measures. Pero kulang lagi, lagyo kayo dito sa crossing o sa Magdum, no? Disto nga crowded. Pero bisag asa pa, kung asa siya sundan nga gusto siyang pusilon, mao gyud, but siguro maningkamot lang ta nga unta wala na mahitabo. Daghang salamat sir sa imong pag-anhi sa among imbitasyon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And I will assure this council na amo gining imbestigahan aron matagaan po justisya ang mga biktima. Daghang salamat og may hapon.
So, daghang kayong salamat, sir. This, the chair declares for a few minutes recess. Session now resumes. Rules are now restored. Let's now proceed to the next order of business, the reading and referral of proposed measures.
Madam President, for our measures on first reading under ordinances, we have this draft city ordinance number 105, an ordinance amending sections 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of city ordinance number 1055, series of 2025, entitled an ordinance revising the Barangay Health Worker Welfare Code of the City of Tagum. Author is Councilor Luis Salazar.
Draft City Ordinance Number 105 is referred to the Committee on Health and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Under resolutions, we have this draft resolution number 463, a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Honorable Reti Uy, to effect the termination of specific deeds of usufruct entered into between the city government of Tagum and certain national government agencies over parcels of land situated at the Energy Park and Institutional Services Center, Barangay Apocon, Tagum City. Author is Councilor Wakan.
Draft Resolution Number 463 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Under letters and communications, number 1, letter dated January 26, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Reti Uy, pertaining to a draft usufructuary agreement between the city government of Tagum and Tagum Water District, covering up a parcel of land situated at Barangay Apocon, Tagum City, Davao del Norte, intended for the latter's construction, operation, and maintenance of a water reservoir and related facilities.
Item number 1 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization, Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Item number 2, letter dated January 26, coming from the Honorable City Mayor Reti Uy, pertaining to a draft deed of usufruct between the city government of Tagum and the Supreme Court of the Philippines, covering a parcel of land located at Barangay Apocon, Tagum City, owned by the former, identified as Lot 6-C, PSD-11-17634, under a transfer certificate of title number 142-20225023240 with an area of 2,500 square meters.
Item number 2 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 3, letter dated January 26, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to a draft resolution authorizing the City Mayor to sign and execute for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum the deed of absolute sale of the real properties registered in the name of the City Government of Tagum to the following beneficiaries of City Homes Tagum for appropriate action, to wit, Eduardo A. Eugenio Jr., Ilona Maris E. Cabarubias, Martin T. Animipot, Sheila May B. Zapanta, and Maria Cristina S. Saicon.
Item number 3 is referred to the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 4, letter dated January 28, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to a copy of a Sangguniang Barangay of Madaum Resolution number 20, series of 2025, entitled a resolution interposing no objection to the proposed oil depot project and other future projects of Garinan Economic Zone Incorporated, provided that affected residents shall not be displaced unless a proper relocation site is first provided.
Item number 4 is referred to the Committee on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 5, letter dated January 26, still coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to the proposed Memorandum of Agreement by and between the Department of Public Works and Highways, Regional Office 11, and the Local Government Unit of the City of Tagum regarding the installation of traffic signalization included in the scope of work for projects being implemented by DPWH Regional Office 11 under contract with J.D. Lindo Builder OPC.
Item number 5 is referred to the Committee on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges.
Number 6, letter dated January 28 from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to a draft Memorandum of Agreement between the Department of Health, Davao Center for Health Development, and the City Government of Tagum in relation to the conduct of measles, rubella supplemental immunization activity, or MRCA, in the city from January 19 to February 13, 2026, and this is for urgent action.
Item number 6 is referred to the Committee on Health, and laws, rules, regulations, and privileges. Please take note that this is for urgent action.
Number 7, letter dated January 22, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to the documents for accreditation as a civil society organization of the following bodies, to wit, San Miguel Multipurpose Cooperative. Number 2, Tagum City Banana Q and Barbecue Vendors Association. Number 3, Santa Teresa Village Phase 2 Homeowners Association Incorporated. Number 4, Tagum City Freedom Park Ambulant Vendors Association. And number 5, IP Association of Barangay Maguipo West.
Item number 7 is referred to the Committee on Special Bodies.
Number 8, letter dated January 26 from Honorable Alfredo B. De Vera Jr., Punong Barangay, Visayan Village, pertaining to the supplemental budget number 3 for calendar year 2025 of Visayan Village, appropriating the sum of 240,000 pesos only.
Item number 8 is referred to the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Finance Budget and Appropriations.
Number 9, letter dated January 16, coming from Mr. Dennis Dean T. Castillo, MPA, Sangguniang Panlalawigan Secretary of Davao del Norte. This pertains to the copy of resolution number 1191 dated December 2, 2025, related to City Ordinance number 1090 series of 2025.
Item number 9 is referred to the Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges, and Committee on Labor and Employment.
We have 2 additional items, Madam President, still under letters and communications. Number 1, letter dated February 2, 2026 from the Honorable City Mayor Ray T. Uy. This pertains to a draft resolution granting express authority to the local chief executive to sign for and in behalf of the local government unit to Tagum a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Education relative to implementing school building projects through the use of the Basic Education Facilities Fund, or BEFF. This is for urgent action.
Okay, so this addendum number 1 is referred to the Committee on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, Committee on Education, and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulation, and Privileges.
The last item is this letter dated February 2, coming from the Honorable City Mayor, pertaining to a draft resolution conferring posthumous honor and recognition upon the late Judge Mary Ann Gonzalez Israel for her distinguished service in the judiciary and for her civic contributions to the city of Tagum, also for urgent action.
Item number 2 under addendum is referred to the Committee on Gender and Development, Children, Family Welfare, and Social Services. Let us now proceed to the next order of business, the committee reports. First to report is the Committee on Gender, Councilor Revita.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Committee Report number 1, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Gender, Equality and Development, Children and Family Welfare and Social Services, held at SP Session Hall last at 8:45 a.m. with the subject matter, a resolution number 437 series of 2026, a resolution congratulating Ms. Maria Ginelle Avenido, a proud mansaka from Barangay La Pilipina, Tagum City, for having brought honor to Tagum City as a gawad na tatanging bata during the 2025 search for Pantawad Pamilya Exemplary Child at Ritz Hotel at Garden Oasis, Forest Street, Obrero, Lungsod ng Davao. Madam Chair, since the copy of the said committee report number 1 has been distributed in the advance to this august body, I move to dispense with the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Ala, Catayas, Uy Salazar, Rillion, and Kaasi. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Is there any discussion, amendment, or objection? There being none, therefore, committee report number 1, submitted by the Committee on Gender and Development, Children, Family Welfare, and Social Services is hereby adopted. Next to report is Committee on Environmental Protection, Councilor Wakan recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. In behalf of the Committee on Environment Protection and Ecology and Committee on Laws, Rules and Regulations and Privilege, this pertains to Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, involving two subject matters, letter dated December 22, 2025 of Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through the City Vice Mayor, the draft City Ordinance adopting the guidelines to facilitate the implementation of energy projects, also known as the Tagum City Energy Code, and number 2, the letter dated January 15, 2026 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through the City Vice Mayor, the draft Memorandum of Agreement between the City Government of Tagum and Holcim Philippines Incorporated for the implementation of waste diversion program through the Cement Clean Co-Processing Project. Madam Presiding Officer, considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of this Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, I move to dispense with the reading of the full text of the said committee report.
Moved by Councilor Wacan, seconded by Councilor Rubinos, Aala, Eliot, Catayas, and Luis Salazar, and there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the adoption of the Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Environmental Protection and Ecology and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Public Works. Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by Committee on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation, Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations and Privileges, with two subject matters. Number 1 is the letter dated January 12, 2026 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through City Vice Mayor, the list of projects of the City Government of Tagum funded by the Department of Interior and Local Government, or the ALG, under the Local Government Support Fund, thus Support to Barangay Development Program, LGSF, thus SBDP, and the Local Government Support Fund, thus Financial Assistance to the LGU, LGSF, and FALGO for fiscal year 2025. Number 2, deed of donation between the City Government of Tagum and Tagum's Water District for the management and operation of the Barangay Pandapan water system located at Purok Lemon. Since copies were given of the said Joint Committee Report, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said Joint Committee Report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, duly seconded by Councilor Rubinos. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Public Works, Facilities and Utilities, Finance, Budget and Appropriations, and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted. Next committee report.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Councilor Kaasi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to dispense with the reading of Joint Committee Report Number 3, Series of 2026, on the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Committee on Laws, Rules, and Privileges on January 29, 2026 at 10 a.m. at SP Session Hall with two subject matters. This is the 23rd regular session, letter number 32 of City Mayor Honorable Ray T. Uy to sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum the deed of absolute sale for the parcel of lands in the name of Jose B. Agan et al. Located at Barangay Magdum, Tagum City. And the second subject matter for the 26th regular session, letter number 2 of Honorable Mayor Ray T. Uy, addressed to honorable members of the Sangguniang, to Honorable Eva Lorraine Estavillo, Vice Mayor, duly received by Office of Secretary. This pertains to the draft extrajudicial settlement of estate with absolute deed of donation for parcel of land owned by the following heir donors for appropriate action. 1 is Noemi Evelyn Y. Kakayurin, and 2, Julito Bano Jr. I move to dispense the reading, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Caasi, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Revita, and Catayas. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
Before its adoption, Madam Chair, I'd like to propose some amendments.
Okay, so kindly move for adoption first.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Caasi. Is there any discussion?
There is an amendment, Madam Chair.
Very well.
Since there is an erroneous, to amend the recommendation of the first subject matter, Madam Chair, since the certification is erroneously referred to the Centennial Mangrove Project, which does not correspond with the purpose of the measure and resolution. The correct subject matter is the certification of donation for the extrajudicial settlement of estate with absolute deed of donation covering the parcel of land owned by Noemi Evelyn Kakayurin. Also, the submitted delineation survey wasn't signified by a geodetic engineer since on the third whereas we have amended that a sketch plan issued and signed by a licensed geodetic engineer. So the recommendation, Madam Chair, that this matter will be discussed in another committee meeting on February 4, 2026. I so move, Madam Chair, for the amendment.
Moved by Councilor Caasi, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Revita, and Catayas. Is there any discussion, amendment to the amendment, objection to the amendment? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved. Some more corrections?
None,
No more?
Madam Chair.
So is there any objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 3 submitted by the Committee on Housing and Land Utilization and Committee on Laws, Rules, and Privileges is hereby adopted as amended once. Okay. Councilor, our Liga ng Barangay President, Councilor Beto Bin Rubinos is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This is Joint Committee Report number 2, series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs together with the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation, dated January 21, 2026, with 4 subject matter. First is the Barangay Ordinance number 2, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Versa. An ordinance amending Chapter 3, Article A, Section 35 of the 2008 Barangay Tax Code number 001, series of 2008, entitled 2008 Barangay Revenue Code of Barangay Nueva Versa. Second is the Supplemental Budget number 2 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Madaum, appropriating the sum of 240,000 pesos for appropriate action. Number 3, Supplemental Budget number 4 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Magdum, appropriating the sum of 240,000 for appropriate action. And the last item is the Supplemental Budget number 4 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Magugbo North, appropriating the sum of 196,361 pesos for appropriate action. And considering that all members present has a copy of this committee report, I move to dispense the reading of the said committee report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by our Liga ng Barangay President, Beto Bin Rubino, seconded by Councilors Aala and Eliot. And there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 2, series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Barangay Affairs and Finance, Budget and Appropriation is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Finance. Yes, Councilor Wakan is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This pertains to Joint Committee Report number 2, series of 2026 of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation, and the Committee on Barangay Affairs. The subject matters are as follows. Letter dated December 22, 2025 from Honorable Marlon O. Rio, Punong Barangay of Barangay Mangkilam, addressed to the City Vice Mayor, Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, through Mr. Ray A. Buhion, Secretary to the Sangguniang, the annual budget of calendar year 2026 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Mangkilam amounting to the sum of 58,367,000 pesos. And number 2, letter dated December 12, 2025 from Honorable Alfredo B. De Vera, Punong Barangay of Barangay Visayan Village, addressed to the City Vice Mayor, Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, through Mr. Ray A. Buhion, Secretary to the Sangguniang, the annual budget for CY 2026 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Visayan Village amounting the sum of 61,250,682 pesos. Madam Presiding Officer, considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of this committee report, I move to dispense with the reading of its full text.
Moved by Councilor Wacan, seconded by Councilors Aala, Revita, and Catayas. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the adoption of the Joint Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2026.
Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 2, submitted by the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriation and Barangay Affairs, is hereby adopted. Next committee report from the Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry. Councilor Ong is recognized.
Hello. Good afternoon, Madam. Hello.
Kindly provide him with another mic.
Good afternoon, Madam Presiding Officer. Rendering to this August body the Joint Committee Report Number 1, Series of 2025 of the Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industries and the Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations and Privileges. With the subject matter, a letter dated August 6, 2025 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, a letter from the Tagum City Business and Incentive Center relative to the USEFRAC agreement with the Department of Trade and Industry and the City Government of Tagum for the Tagum Prince Shared Service Facility project for appropriate action. With that, Madam Presiding Officer, I move to dispense with the reading of the Joint Committee Report Number 1, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations and Privileges.
Moved by Councilor Ong, seconded by Councilor Shara Uy Isabel. Councilor Uy Salazar and Councilor Revita. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Is there any discussion, any amendment?
None.
In the attendance, kindly take a look at, is Councilor Revita on official business or was he present?
Yes. Oh, she was on. Well, she was out for that
So
day.
kindly make the necessary amendment. Na siya sa official business. Napod siya sa present.
Oh, sorry, Madam Presiding Officer. I move to amend the portion of the committee report, Madam Presiding Officer, that reflects Councilor Leo D. Revita as present.
Okay. So there's a motion to delete the name of Councilor Leo de Revita under the present because she was on official business at this time. So is there any second? Second by Councilor Aala. And Councilor Catayas, is there any discussion, amendment to the amendment, objection to the amendment? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved.
That is all,
Okay,
Madam Presiding Officer.
So is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report Number 1, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Trade, Commerce and Industry and Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations and Privileges is hereby adopted with one amendment. committee report from the Committee on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges. Councilor Aala is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Joint Committee Report number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by Joint Committees on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges with 2 subject matter. Letter dated December 16, 2025 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through Honorable Eva E. Lorraine Stabilios, City Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of Secretary to the Sangguniang on the same date of the herein draft memorandum agreement between the City Government of Tagum, Newfoundland Arts and Science Academy of Tagum for the implementation of immersion program. Number 2, letter dated November 12, 2025 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, addressed to the Sangguniang members of the Sangguniang through Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, City Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of Secretariat to the Sangguniang on November 14, 2025, the herein request for the passage of the resolution authorizing the City Mayor to sign the memorandum of agreement between among the City Government of Tagum, grantee, and parent guardian as be provided under Section 4 of City Ordinance Number 1014, Series of 2022, the otherwise known as the Expanded City Educational Scholarship Program or ESES Pro, as amended by the Ordinance of Number 1050, Series of 2024. Since copies were given, I move to the dispense of the said Joint Committee Report, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Rubinos and Revita, and there being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala. Is there any discussion?
Amendment, Madam Presiding Officer.
Amendment. Yes, amendment.
Amendment, Madam Presiding Officer, that the subject matter number 2, letter dated November 12, 2025 from Honorable Ray T. Uy, addressed to the Honorable Members of the Sangguniang through Honorable Eva Lorraine E. Estabilio, Vice Mayor, duly received by the Office of the Secretariat of the Sangguniang on November 14, 2025, the herein request for the passage the resolution authorizing the City Mayor to sign the memorandum agreement between and among the City Government of Tagum, the grantee, and the parents guardian as provided in Section 4 of the City Ordinance Number 1014, Series 2022, otherwise known as the Expanded City Educational Scholarship Program, ESES Pro, as amended the City Ordinance Number 1015, Series 2025. Since more discussion will be needed for the said amendment of the said ordinance, Madam Presiding Officer, I move that this piece of legislation will be turned back to the origin of the committee, Madam Presiding Officer, for refinement, Madam Presiding Officer.
So, under recommendations in item number 2, so the recommendation will be to refer back to
the committee.
To the committee. Very well. So there's a motion. Is there any second? Seconded by Councilor Kaasi and Rillion. And is there any discussion, any amendment, objection to the amendment? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved. So, some more amendments? There being none, is there any objection to the main motion? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committee on Education and Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges is hereby adopted with one amendment. Next committee report from the Youth and Sports Development. Our SK Federation President, Councilor Rillion, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This is to render Joint Committee Report number 2, Series of 2026, submitted by the Committees on Youth and Sports Development, Finance, Budget and Appropriation, and on Barangay Affairs, with one subject matter, relating to the supplemental budget number 1 for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Bingkungan. Madam Presiding Officer, assuming that all members were already given a copy of the said report, for this reason, I move to dispense with its reading.
Moved by Councilor Rillion, second by Councilors Revita, Rubinos, and Catayas, and there being no objection, the reading of the full text of this report is hereby dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the adoption of the Joint Committee Report number 2 series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Rillion. Is there any discussion?
Discussion with Madam Presiding Officer. During the Joint Committee hearing conducted last January 28, 2026 at 9:30 a.m. at the third floor SP Session Hall, New City Hall building, so few of the members cited during the committee hearing cited the delay in the submission of the supplemental budget number 1 or for calendar year 2025 of the Sangguniang Kabataan of Barangay Bingkungan. As per the recommendation set by the members, the SK chairperson of Barangay Bingkungan is hereby required to submit documents such as the approved activity designs, fund utilization report, and narrative report stating findings, observations, and recommendations as a conditional requirement for the approval and confirmation of their supplemental budget for the second and final reading on the next regular session of the Sangguniang Panglungsod on February 9, 2026. That would be all, Madam Presiding Officer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So is there any amendment? None. Any objection? There being none, therefore, Joint Committee Report number 2, series of 2026, submitted to the Committee on Youth and Sports Development, Finance, Budget and Appropriation, and Barangay Affairs is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to the next order of business, the calendar of business. What is the pleasure of the Chairperson, Committee on Laws, Rules, Regulations, and Privileges?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move for the approval and adoption of the calendar of business as stated in the notice of the 28th regular session dated February 2, 2026.
Moved by Councilor Wacan, second by Councilor Aala, Uy Salazar, and Catayas. Is there any discussion, any amendment to the calendar of business? Councilor Uy Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. May I ask for a draft resolution number from our Secretary to the Sangguniang?
Madam Chair, that would be resolution number 467.
Madam Presiding Officer, as being certified for urgent action, I move for inclusion under unassigned business, draft resolution number 467, series of 2025, a resolution, series of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City Mayor Honorable Ray T. Uy to enter into and sign for and on behalf of the City Government of Tagum the Memorandum of Agreement with the Department of Health, Davao Center for Health Development for the provision of funds in the amount of 418,365 pesos, intended for the implementation of measles rubella supplemental immunization activity or MRCIA of Tagum City.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, second by Councilors Aala, Revita, Kaasi, and Catayas. Rubinos. There being no objection, therefore, resolution number 467 is included under unassigned business. Councilor Wacan is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I ask the Secretary to the Sangguniang if the next resolution is resolution number 468. Can you confirm?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you, sir. Madam Presiding Officer, I move for the inclusion of resolution number, draft resolution number 468, series of 2026, a resolution authorizing the City Mayor, Honorable Ray T. Uy, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum a Memorandum of Agreement with Holcim Philippines Incorporated for the implementation of the Waste Diversion Program through Cement Kiln Co-Processing Project. It's Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Wacan, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Uy Salazar, Rubinos, Eliot, and Kaasi. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 468 is included under unassigned business. Councilor Kaasi.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for inclusion under unassigned business, Resolution number 469, Series of 2026. A resolution authorizing Honorable Ray T. Uy, Mayor, to sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum the deed of absolute sale of parcel of land identified as Lot 4, PCS 11-002-047, containing an area of 536 square meters, more or less covered by transfer certificate title number 142-2023-008973 and Lot 10, PCS-11-002-047, containing an area of 608 square meters, more or less, covered by certificate transfer of title number 142-2023-008979. Both properties are situated in Barangay Magdum, Tagum City, registered in the name of Jose B. Agan et Benji J. Agan, Benjamin J. Agan Jr., Fedeliza Agan Lugnasin, Anita Agan Vidanes, Angelito B. Agan, Francisco B. Agan, Gloria Agan Limikid, Erlinda Agan Soronio, Luciano B. Agan, Nenita Agan Balili, to be utilized as school facilities and sports facilities respectively and other development project of the City Government of Tagum. I so move, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Elliot, and Catayas, and there being no objection, resolution number 469 is included under unassigned business. Councilor Rubinos is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Amendments for inclusion under unassigned business, resolution number 470. Is that correct? Sure. A resolution returning Barangay Ordinance number 2, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Versa, Tagum City, Davao del Norte. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Uy Salazar and Aala. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 470 is included under unassigned business.
Another one, Madam Presiding Officer. Resolution number 471, a resolution confirming appropriation ordinance number 5, series of 2025 of Sangguniang Barangay of Magugpo North, Tagum City, operative and effective upon its approval. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 471 is included under unassigned business.
Another one, Madam Presiding Officer. Resolution number 472, a resolution confirming appropriation ordinance number 3, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Madaom, Tagum City, operative and effective upon its approval. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Catayas, seconded by moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 472 is included under unassigned business.
Lastly, Madam Presiding Officer, resolution number 473, a resolution confirming appropriation ordinance number 5, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Magdum, Tagum City, operative and effective upon its approval. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Aala. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 473 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions. Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officers. Madam Officer, since it was signed urgent, can I have the draft resolution number?
Resolution 474, sir.
474. Amendment for inclusion under unassigned business. Draft Resolution 474, Series of 2026, a resolution authorizing the local Chief Executive Ray T. Uy to enter into a memorandum agreement with the Department of Education relative to the implementation of the Basic Education Facilities Program in the City of Tagum. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Uy Salazar, Revita, Rubinos, and Catayas. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 474 is included under unassigned business.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officers. Madam Officer, since it was signed urgent, can I have the draft resolution number? 474. Amendment for inclusion under unassigned business. Draft Resolution 474 is included under unassigned business. Another one, Madam Presiding Officer. Resolution number 475, a resolution confirming appropriation ordinance number 5, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Magdum, Tagum City, operative and effective upon its approval. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Catayas. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 474 is included under unassigned business.
amendment for inclusion under unassigned business, resolution number 475, series of 2026, a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Honorable Riti Uy, to enter into and sign for in behalf of the city government of Tagum the memorandum of agreement of work immersion program with the Newfoundland Arts and Science Academy of Tagum Incorporated. I move for its inclusion, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilors Revita and Uy Salazar, and there being no objection, therefore resolution number 475 is included under unassigned business. Councilor Revita.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. For inclusion under unassigned business, Resolution number 437, series of 2026, a resolution congratulating Ms. Maria Janelle Avenido, a proud mansaka from Barangay La Pilipina, Tagum City, for having brought honor to Tagum City as Gawad ni Tatanging Bata during the 2025 search for Pantawad Pamilya Exemplary Child at Breeze Hotel Garden Oasis, Poras, Obrero, Lungsod ng Davao. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Rubinos. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 437 is included under unassigned business.
Another inclusion under unassigned business, Madam Presiding Officer.
Proceed.
Considering that this resolution is certified urgent, for inclusion under unassigned business resolution, may I know the Secretary what number of this resolution?
That's resolution 476, Madam.
476. Resolution number 476, series of 2026, a resolution conferring Posthumous Award and recognition upon the late Judge Mary Ann Gonzalez Israel for her distinguished service in the judiciary and for her civic contribution to the city of Tagum. I so move, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Aala and Councilor Uy Salazar. There being no objection, therefore resolution number 476 is included under unassigned business. Summary inclusions. There being none, back to the main motion as amended 11 times. Is there any objection? There being none, therefore the calendar of business as amended 11 times is hereby adopted. Let us now proceed to the first item under unassigned business.
Under unassigned business, Madam President, first item is resolution 467, a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Honorable Riti Uy, to enter into and sign for and on behalf of the city government of Tagum the memorandum of agreement with the Department of Health, Davao Center for Health Development, for the provision of funds in the amount of 418,365 pesos intended for the implementation of measles, rubella supplemental immunization activity in Tagum City.
Councilor Uy Salazar is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Allow me to present draft resolution number 467, series of 2026. And since all members of this council were already furnished with copies of this resolution, I move to dispense with the reading of the full text of the same.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Rubinos, Catayas, and Eliot. There being no objection, the reading of the full text is hereby dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for its approval on second reading.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Kaasi and Catayas. Is there any discussion?
Point of information, Madam Presiding Officer, this resolution seeks the authority of the Sangguniang Panglungsod for the City Mayor, Honorable Riti Uy, to enter into and sign a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Health, Davao Center for Health Development, for the implementation of the measles rubella supplemental immunization activity, or MRCI, in Tagum City. Under the proposed MOA, the DOH will provide funding in the amount of 418,365 pesos to support Tagum City's vaccination campaign for 27,891 children aged 6 to 59 months. These funds will be used for social preparation activities, information and education materials, logistical requirements, and operational expenses necessary to ensure the successful conduct of the MRCIA from January 19 to February 13, 2026. This measure is urgent and timely given the recent increase in measles and other vaccine-preventable diseases. Approval of this resolution will formalize the partnership between the city government of Tagum and the DOH, ensure proper utilization and liquidation of funds, and strengthen our collective effort to protect the health of our children and prevent future outbreaks. For these reasons, I earnestly seek the favorable approval of this resolution.
Thank you for that information, Councilor Uy Salazar. So proceed now to the amendments.
Amendments, Madam Presiding Officer, in compliance with the recommendations of the City Legal Office specified in Legal Opinion Number Feb 0105, Series of 2026. Firstly, I move that the heading and proper identification of the local government unit must be explicitly stated to ensure precision in legal identity. Hence, the LGU's designation as party to the MOA shall be read as follows. City Government of Tagum, a local government unit duly established under the laws of the Republic of the Philippines with principal address at J.V. Ayala Avenue, Apocon Road, Tagum City, Davao del Norte, represented herein by the City Mayor, Honorable Ray T. Uy, by virtue of Sangguniang Panglungsod Resolution Number 467 of Legal Age, Filipino, hereinafter referred to as the LGU.
Okay, so as moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, duly seconded by Councilors Ala, Catayas, and Revita. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, that amendment is hereby approved.
Secondly, Madam Presiding Officer, to ensure consistency with the heading and to avoid confusion, I move that the generic terms first party and second party used in the body of the MOA to be replaced with specific acronyms. First, the Department of Health Davao Center for Health Development shall be referred to as DOH-DCHD, and the City Government of Tagum shall be referred to as the LGU.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilors Rubinos, Revita, and Aala. Is there any discussion, amendment to the amendment, objection to the amendment? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved.
Thirdly, Madam Presiding Officer, regarding the provision on dispute resolution in the MOA, specifically stated in the other terms and conditions, Item E, I move for the amendment of the venue. In the event that amicable settlement or alternative dispute resolution fails, the venue for any resulting legal action shall be exclusively laid in the competent courts of Tagum City, Davao del Norte, rather than the courts of Davao City. This modification is necessary to ensure the convenience of the city government of Tagum and to minimize litigation costs and logistical burdens on the LGU. I so move to effect the said amendment of the venue.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Aala and Iliot. There be no objection, therefore that amendment is hereby approved.
Fourthly, Madam Presiding Officer, I move that the draft resolution number 467, as assigned by our Secretary to the Sangguniang, be included in the blank portion of the Deed of Donation and Acceptance, specifically on that part naming the City Government of Tagum as party to the Memorandum of Agreement.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Kaasi, Revita, and Aala. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore that amendment is hereby approved.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move that this resolution be subject to form and style.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Aala. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore, draft resolution number 467 shall be subject to form and style.
If there are no other floor amendments to be introduced by the members of the Sangguniang, I move that all members present be co-proponents of this draft resolution.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilors Aala and Catayas. There being no objection, all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
I move that this piece of legislation be approved on second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Uy Salazar, seconded by Councilor Aala. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore, resolution number 467 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is a resolution 468, a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Honorable Ray T. Uy, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the city government of Tagum, a memorandum of agreement with Holcim Philippines Incorporated for the implementation of waste diversion program through cement kiln co-processing project.
Councilor Wakan is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. This pertains to resolution number 468, a resolution authorizing the city mayor, Honorable Ray T. Uy, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the city government of Tagum, a memorandum of agreement with Holcim Philippines Incorporated for the implementation of the waste diversion program through cement kiln co-processing project. Madam Presiding Officer, considering that each and every member has been furnished with a copy of this draft resolution number 468, I therefore move to dispense with the reading of the full text of the resolution.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilor Ala and Rubinos. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore the reading of its full text shall be dispensed with.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for its approval on second reading.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilor Kaasi, Uy Salazar, and Rubinos. Is there any discussion?
For a brief discussion, Madam Presiding Officer, this memorandum of agreement sought to be entered into by the city government of Tagum is in furtherance of Republic Act number 9003, otherwise known as the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act of 2000, which mandates the local government unit to adopt systematic, comprehensive, and ecological solid waste management programs, including waste reduction, reuse, recycling, recovery, and diversion. Madam Presiding Officer, considering that the Holcim Philippines is the one engaged in the business of manufacturing cement, has been certified by the Environment Management Bureau of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources as being capable of treating non-recyclable, sorted municipal solid waste while producing cement in a single combined operation. So that's the byproduct of this agreement, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay. Thank you for that information. Proceed to the amendment.
As an amendment, Madam Presiding Officer, I move that all members present be made as a co-proponent of this draft resolution.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilor Rubinos, Eliot, Ala, and Catayas. Therefore, there being no objection, all members present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move for its approval on second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Wakan, seconded by Councilor Catayas, Kaasi, Ala, and Rubinos. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Ala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Ilion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 468 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next is a resolution number 469, a resolution authorizing Honorable Ray T. Uy, City Mayor, to sign for and in behalf of the city government of Tagum the deed of absolute sale of parcels of land identified as Lot 4, PCS 11-002047, containing an area of 536 square meters, more or less, covered by transfer certificate of title number 142-2023008973, and Lot 10, PCS-11-002047, containing an area of 608 square meters, more or less, covered by transfer certificate of title number 142-2023008979. Both properties are situated in Barangay Magdum, Tagum City, registered in the name of Jose B. Agan, Benji J. Agan, Benjamin J. Agan Jr., Fedeliza Agan Lugnasin, Anita Agan Vidanes, Angelito B. Agan, Francisco B. Agan, Gloria Agan Limikid, Erlinda Agan Soronio, Luciano B. Agan, Anita Agan Balili, to be utilized as school facilities and sports facilities, respectively, and other development project of the city government.
Councilor Kaasi, what is your pleasure?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to dispense with the reading of Resolution Number 469, Series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi, seconded by Councilor Catayas. There being no objection, therefore the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its adoption, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi that this be approved on second
Second
reading.
reading.
Seconded by Councilor Catayas. Is there any discussion?
Just a brief discussion, Madam Chair, that this parcel of land containing with a total area of 1,144 amounting to 4,919,200 to be utilized as school facilities and sports facilities respectively and other development projects for the city government of Tagum, which the budget will be taken from 20% of our development fund. During the discussion on the committee, Madam Chair, Ma'am Carissa Cajes, or the City Assessor's Office, was directed to submit an appraisal report, the technical working group evaluation report, and to conduct a survey of the property to clearly determine the areas affected by the proposed road right-of-way and other development projects. Subsequently, Ma'am Carissa fully complied with the set of the requirements to the Sangguniang. It was here are attached also are the copies of the documents to support the resolution request, which are the transfer certificate of title, sketch plan, site pictorials and location map, and also the appraisal report and the certification from our city planning development office that this is a residential zone. Also, a certification from our City Housing and Land Management Office that there are no informal settlers on the area, as well as the site verification and inspection together with our City Under Officer, Engineer Vivian Bahalya. With this, Madam Chair, I move for the amendments.
Moved by Councilor
Amendment,
for
Madam Chair.
amendment. Yes, proceed.
That this piece of resolution shall be subjected to form and style.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi, seconded by Councilor Rubinos and Eliot. There being no objection, therefore, resolution number 469 shall be subject to form and style.
Finally, Madam Chair, that this piece of that all members physically present shall be co-proponent.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi, seconded by Councilor Rubinos. There being no objection, all members physically present shall be co-proponents of resolution number 469.
I move for its adoption on second and final reading, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Kaasi that this be approved on second and final reading, seconded by Councilor Rubinos. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 469 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next item is resolution number 470, a resolution returning Barangay Ordinance number 2, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Fuerza, Tagum City, Davao del Norte.
Our Liga ng Barangay President, Councilor Rubinos, is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since all members were already given a copy of resolution number 470, I move to dispense with its reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubinos, seconded by Councilor Catayas, and there being no objection, therefore this resolution, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its approval on second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubinos, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, Madam Presiding Officer. The purpose of the Barangay Ordinance number 2, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Fuerza, Madam Presiding Officer, was to increase the burial fee of the old tax ordinance under Chapter 3. The increase of the burial fee was necessary to increase the income of the barangay to be used in the future expenses. It was observed by the members of the Joint Committee during the committee hearing that the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Fuerza used an incorrect format of amending barangay ordinance and encouraged to use the correct form and style. And after the deliberation, the members of the Joint Committee proposed several corrections for their consideration as reflected in the committee report. Thereafter, the Joint Committee recommended the return of Barangay Ordinance number 2, series of 2025 to to the Sangguniang Barangay of Nueva Versa for further refinement.
Okay, proceed to the amendments.
Amendments, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members present be co-proponents.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Aala and Eliot. There be no objection, therefore all members present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
I move that this be approved for second and final reading, Madam Presiding
Moved
Officer.
by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilors Catayas, Aala, and Uy Salazar. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, Councilor Rilon. Madam President, all members physically present are in favor.
All members physically present being in favor, therefore resolution number 470 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next is a resolution number 471, a resolution confirming appropriation ordinance number 5, series of 2025 of the Sangguniang Barangay of Magupo North, Tagum City, operative and effective upon its approval.
Thank you,
Councilor Rubinos.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since all members were already given a copy of resolution number 471, 472, and 473, and given that they are the same in nature, I move for an omnibus motion to dispense with the reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Dato Eric Perez, Councilor Catayas, and Councilor Aala. And there being no objection, therefore the reading of the full text of resolution numbers 471, 472, and 473 are hereby dispensed here.
I move for its approval on second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Dato Eric Perez. Is there any discussion?
Discussion, Madam Presiding Officer, that the Office of the City Budget through Ms. Karen A. Henteles, CPA, the City Budget Officer, has caused the necessary review and evaluation to their letter and certification stating, among others, that the barangay supplemental budget for calendar year 2025 of the barangay Magugpo North, Madaum, and Magdum had complied with the provisions of RA 7160 and other budget circulars. And during the committee meeting last January 21, 2026, the members of the committee recommended that the supplemental budget of Barangay Magugpo North, Madaum, and Magdum be approved for second and final reading, provided that the Barangay Madaum will submit certification and proof that the barangay had already paid their electricity bill as of December 31, 2025. And in addition, barangays Madaum, Magugpo North, and Magdum are required to submit duly notarized certification of savings as attached in the committee report. Lastly, Madam Presiding Officer, the committee also requesting the Office of the Secretary to the Sangguniang to notify the barangays that in every declaration of savings, the certification must be executed under oath. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you for that information. Proceed to the amendments.
Amendments, Madam Presiding Officer, that all members present be co-proponents.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Dato Eric Perez. There being no objection, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of these three resolutions.
Madam Presiding Officer, I move that this be approved for second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Rubino, seconded by Councilor Dato Eric Perez and Uy Salazar, and also Councilor Wakan. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rilon. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution numbers 471, 472, and 473 are approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next is resolution number 474, a resolution authorizing the local chief executive, Ray T. Uy, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Education relative to the implementation of the Basic Education Facilities Program in the city of Tagum.
Councilor Aala is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since copies were given of the said resolution number 474, series of 2026, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said resolution, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Uy Salazar and Catayas. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move to approve the second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Catayas and U. Salazar. Is there any discussion?
Point of information, Madam Presiding Officer, that this memorandum of agreement under Section 8 of Department of Education Special Provision number 6 of Republic Act number 12314, otherwise known as the General Appropriation Act of 2026 or GAA 2026, DepEd may enter into a memorandum agreement or MOA with other government agencies, including qualified LGUs, for the implementation and the construction of basic education facilities. In Article 1, Section 1, the purpose of the agreement is to establish the cooperative agreement between the DepEd and the LGU for a LGU-led construction, replacement, or reconstruction, rehabilitation, repair, and improvement of works, and in B, LGU-led the procurement of the construction, replacement, reconstruction, rehabilitation, repair, and improvement of works, all of which funded under the GAA 2026 Basic Education Facilities Program. That's all, Madam Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you for that information. Proceed.
I move that all of my fellow colleagues will be component na said.
Before that, Councilor Alat, do we have a legal opinion on this subject? The chair declares for a few minutes recess.
Officer. I move that this piece of legislation will be subject for ratification, Madam Presiding Officer, and subject for ratification, Madam Presiding Officer.
Oh, yes. And any additional discussion from
Yes,
Councilor
Madam Chair.
Lemos?
There are those the MUA attached to the proposed resolution, Madam Chair, contains some blank which need to be filled up. But somehow this is an urgent. We can we can give authority to the mayor to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the DepEd, provided that the MUA itself be subject to ratification at the proper time, Madam Chair. So under the subject to permanent style, I move that if one of the whereases be included in the proposed resolution that the MUA is subject to ratification at the proper time. I so move, Madam Chair.
So there's a motion by Councilor Lemos, seconded by Councilor Aala. And if is there any discussion, amendment, objection to the motion? There being none, therefore, that motion is hereby approved. Proceed, Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move that all of my fellow colleagues physically present will be proponent of the said resolution number, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Uy Salazar. There being no objection, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move to approve the second and final reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uy Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 474 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next, we have resolution number 475, a resolution authorizing the City Mayor, Honorable Waity Uy, to enter into and sign for and in behalf of the City Government of Tagum, the Memorandum of Agreement with for Work Immersion Program with Newfoundland Arts and Science Academy of Tagum Incorporated.
Councilor Aala.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Since copies were given, resolution number 475, series of 2026, I move to the dispense of the reading of the said resolution, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Rubinos. There being no objection, therefore the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move to approve the second reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Rubinos and Rillion. Is there any discussion?
Thank you, Madam
Amendment?
Presiding Officer. During the deliberation, Madam Presiding Officer, one of my fellow colleagues has recommended many of the permits, the government permits of the said school, the certificate of incorporation of the Newfoundland Arts and Science Academy of Tagum Incorporated, the certification of the school calendar, the certification of the conduct of the surveys, the certification of the curriculum offerings, the certification of the partnership, the certification of the willingness to serve, and the certification of the compliance to DO 54 series of 2022. Those were the recommended by my fellow colleagues. So the papers will already be submitted and attached with this, Madam Presiding Officer.
So, proceed.
I move that all of my fellow colleagues physically present will be proponent of the said resolution, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Uy Salazar. There being no objection, therefore all members physically present shall be co-proponents of resolution number 475.
I move to approve the second and final reading, Madam Presiding Officer.
Moved by Councilor Aala, seconded by Councilor Ong. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 475 is approved on second and final reading. Next item.
Next, we have resolution number 437, a resolution congratulating Miss Maria Ginal G. Avenido, a proud Mansaka from Barangay La Filipina, Tagum City, for having brought honor to Tagum City as a gawad na tatanging bata during the 2025 search for Pantawid Pamilya Exemplary Child at Ritz Hotel at Garden Oasis, Poras Street, Barrio Obrero, Lungsod ng Davao.
Councilor Revita is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move to dispense with the reading of Resolution number 437, Series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas, Luis Salazar, and Aala. There being no objection, the reading of its full text is dispensed with.
I move for its approval on the second reading.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Is there any discussion?
Amendment, Madam Chair,
Proceed.
that all members present shall be co-proponents.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Eliot. There being no objection, all members present shall be co-proponents of resolution number 437.
I move that this piece of legislation be approved on the second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 437 is approved on second and final reading. Last item under unassigned business.
Yes, sir. Next is draft resolution number 476, a resolution conferring posthumous honor and recognition upon the late Judge Mary Ann Gonzalez Israel for her distinguished service in the judiciary and for her civic contributions to the city of Tagum.
Councilor Revita.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. I move to dispense with the reading of Resolution number 476, Series of 2026.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Rubinos and Catayas. There being no objection, therefore the reading of its full text is hereby dispensed with.
I move for its approval on the second reading.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Rubinos. Is there any discussion? Amendment.
Amendment, Madam Chair. Amendment that first amendment is to correct the spelling of the first name. Instead of 2 R's, there are only 1 R. I so move, Madam Chair.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilor Catayas and Rubinos. Is there any discussion, amendment, objection? There being none, therefore the spelling shall be corrected correspondingly.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Amendment that all members present shall be co-proponent.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Salazar, Kaasi, Eliot, and Rubinos. There being no objection, therefore all members present shall be co-proponents of this resolution.
Finally, I move that this piece of legislation be approved on the second and final reading.
Moved by Councilor Revita, seconded by Councilors Catayas and Rubinos. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Luis Salazar, Councilor Aala, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present being in favor, therefore resolution number 476 is approved on second and final reading. Councilor Aala, please take your seat.
Ako nahuman ang sesyon. Ako nag-recess siguro.
Okay, let's now proceed to measures on third reading.
On third reading, Madam President, we have draft City Ordinance number 104, an ordinance institutionalizing the community-based and refresher training programs on slaughtering operations in the city of Tagum, prescribing its implementing guidelines, appropriating funds therefore, and for other related purposes.
Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand.
In favor, we have Councilor Perez, Councilor Catayas, Councilor Aala, Councilor Rubinos, Councilor Elliot, Councilor Revita, Councilor Uiso Lazar, Councilor Kaasi, Councilor Ong, Councilor Lemos, Councilor Wakan, and Councilor Rillion. Madam President, all members present are in favor.
All members present be in favor. Therefore, draft City Ordinance number 104, series of 2026 is approved on third reading. Announcements. Okay, so announcement, the Sangguniang Digest was delivered just this afternoon. So we will be distributing copies to your offices. And we will also be distributing to the barangays and other institutions. So, amo na lang ipanghugot sa inyo ha. So, some more announcements?
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Reminding everybody, toka karong gabi. Amuan tulo ni Dato ni Mayor. So, 6 p.m. Dato sa La Pilipina, sa Umbalay daw, ang venue. Thank you.
Summer announcements? None. And if there is no objection, the chair will now adjourn the session. There being no objection, session is now adjourned.
Tuod mo ila, asa ila po, Ben.